Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. We're going to talk about a very exciting service. This is something that I've always been thinking about as to how I could deliver this, because this is one of the real pain points of so many customers, and which is the whole, okay, yes, I do know some options now, but I'm still not able to succeed. And why is that, and how can we solve that problem? And I've been thinking about something like this, but I never really put my head around this particular program. But always the challenge was how to deal with various differences. And if we because I think over the years I've received probably close to 1,000 emails on this whole mentoring concept. And if somebody would be because so many people have told me that they would be interested in something like this. So anyway, so we're going to talk about the TraderMAX, which is it's a combination of a product come service, but basically it tries to address this whole issue of mentoring, and really how you can get your skills going in the real market in a real life sense. So that's what this is all about. um, Many of you probably know a little bit about me. My name is Hari Swaminathan. I'm the founder of OptionTiger.com. Option Tiger itself is close to about 3 years old right now. I've been an options trader for much more than that. I've been an options trader for close to about coming to 9 years now. The first couple of years have been spent making mistakes and learning. Each time you make a mistake, you learn. However, those mistakes are costly, and so you tend to lose money making those mistakes. But somehow you're going to be learning, and that's fine. But how can someone avoid those mistakes? Because the options game itself, being the way it is and the way the markets are structured, there is obviously going to be this learning curve. And more importantly, one is options, and then how to deal with the real market environment. That's really the key. So anyway, I have a bachelor's degree in engineering from India, and I did my MBA at Columbia Business School in New York as well. So let's get started. So yesterday I sent out an email and I said, so the whole thing is just coming, it's coming into place even for me, as to exactly what does it take to be really successful and in the options market. And I see it as three components, and and they are all equally important. However, they have different levels of difficulty. We are different levels of difficulty in terms of mastering them. So the first part, of course, we know options are not like stocks. They're not like futures. Options have a lot of dimensions. There is a lot of knowledge required. You have to know how the Greeks work. You have to know various time decay strategies. You have to know various kinds of spreads, whether they are vertical spreads, debit spreads, credit spreads, time spreads, and then you have advanced strategies. So, that whole piece is what I call as the knowledge piece itself, because you can't play the options game if you don't have that knowledge. So far, a lot of what I have done, it has been focused on that area, which has been the options knowledge. And so even all of the proprietary systems have focused on taking a particular strategy and approaching it with a goal to give us ourselves an edge. And so all of that is great, but it still all falls into the options knowledge bucket itself. All right, there's one quick question. I hear no people talking. Henry, nobody is going to be talking except me. If you have questions, just type it into the question box. So it's not a conference call. It is a webinar. So I will be speaking, and if you have any questions, just type it into the question box. All right. Okay, so that's as far as the bucket number one is concerned. This is the options knowledge. It's critical, absolutely. There's no question about it. You can't play in the options market if you don't have that knowledge. Then there is the next critical part, or the next important part, is your general options trading skill. So which means the ability to detect when something can or is going wrong. When do you pull the trigger in terms of making an adjustment? When do you do some general market based judgments and judgment on a stock? What kind of technical analysis tools you're going to use to assist you in making these kinds of decisions? And so all of this prompted me to create the TraderMAX product, which is a really fantastic product because it treats it looks at adjustments from a whole philosophical standpoint and takes you through three tiers of adjustment levels. And so that is a very important product, regardless of where you are in the options game. But so that's what prompted that. So the whole TraderMAX product is geared towards the second bucket, which is the ability to basically pull the trigger on something. Okay, so whether it's a winning trade or a losing trade, it doesn't matter, but it's the ability to pull the trigger, when to pull the trigger, what kind of trigger do you pull, how much do you adjust, when do you roll the adjustment back. So these are some softer skills, and they really as a product, it's very difficult to incorporate everything into the product. However, I think the TraderMAX product has come out very well with the examples of all the live trades and everything. But so now you're looking at something that is beyond the options market itself, or beyond the options knowledge itself. You're looking at risk management. You're looking at trade management. You're looking at what kind of decisions you're going to make. So there's a lot of softer skills involved. And if you're making decisions, then what are you basing those decisions on? Many times it'll be some kind of a technical analysis cue that you'll be going upon, and that's fine. That's what it's there for. Or some market news, or some fundamentally something is happening to the sector or the stock, or the overall markets. But basically, you want to be able to assimilate this information and put it and incorporate that into your trading environment. So now we're moving. So the first bucket, the options knowledge, is hard knowledge. What I'm calling as hard knowledge. In the second bucket, we are dealing with 50-50. So basically 50% hard and 50% soft skills. Then also, even after that, I've seen that many traders still struggle. And so, by the time you could, so by the time I could crystallize that into what exactly that is, so that is really the whole emotional skills and your self control skills that are involved. Um, Mostly it swings between the two extremes of fear and greed. If you think something is going right, people tend to put a whole lot of contracts into it, and suddenly something happens and you're not able to react to it in time, and you end up losing money. Or fear is also equally powerful. If you think your trade is going to go wrong, that's when you panic, that's when you make mistakes, and you either close the trade or make the wrong adjustment. So the third bucket is completely mental. It's all soft skills, absolutely soft skills. And this is probably the hardest to acquire. In fact, the options knowledge is the easiest to acquire. The bucket number two is your general trading judgment skills and adjustment skills. Is something that is a little bit more harder because it involves soft skills. The third bucket, however, is all soft skills, and so that is probably the hardest to really get a grip on. And yeah, and unfortunately, you have to do that. You have to do that. And this is where I saw many traders who had gone through all the education. They still come back and say, oh yeah, 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 but no, but this doesn't work because I did this, because I did that, and that's how the trade went. And they fail to recognize that i- winning in the options market is knowledge is only one third of that. The second part of it is also very important, the ability to take decisions, to pull the trigger and all of that. And then the third part, which is your emotional and self control, is absolutely critical, because you could do very well on number one and number two, but number three can kill you. And so, whenever I've sort of gone into depth with any of the customers who have said that, hey, this one didn't work, this is what the market did, and so we exchange emails, and then I finally, you come to the conclusion, and and then the trader also tends to agree that winning in the options market it depends on the softer skills also, your general options trading skills, your emotional control, and all of that. So that's what really prompted me to look at a kind of a mentoring service. But however, there are challenges with the mentoring service, because one-on-one is just too time consuming and too intense, and too intensive with one person. And even a one-on-one, it wouldn't really work, because let's say we were doing a one-on-one kind of a mentoring, but it's not like you're going to be or I'm going to be aware of what you're doing for the 7 hours, 7 market hours of the day. I can't be. Perhaps you'll be sending me an email at the end of the day, but then by the end of the day, a lot would have changed in your positions, or you could have made a mistake or anything like that. So the whole point was, yeah, I had to try to figure out, okay, what is the perfect way to deliver, what format is the best way to deliver some kind of a mentoring service, so that many people can understand exactly how to deal with these issues. Mostly, I'm talking about number two and number three, because number one is a hard skill, and if you take the courses, if you read enough, and you do some paper money trading, number one comes very easily. But number two and number three are the real challenges. And so, it's something that been wanting to solve for a long, long time. And finally, I think it has come together in this product slash service called TraderMAX. So TraderMAX is really where the rubber meets the road. So, you have the knowledge, you know the systems, you know the options part. Now, how do we still succeed in the options market? So TraderMAX is a live trading mentorship, and I haven't seen this format anywhere else, and so I believe that this is probably going to be the first of its kind in the way this product is delivered. It's the ultimate live trading mentorship, what I'm calling it. TraderMAX involves the basic of the fundamental philosophy of TraderMAX is to be able to make you into a good trader. So, which means you have to overcome number two, which is the decision making skills, and number three, which is controlling yourself, self control. And so, this is what it's all about. And the only way, in my mind at least, the only way someone could learn that is if they were actually looking over my shoulder. If they were actually looking over my shoulder every trading day, and perhaps even every minute. Now, we'll get into all of that. You don't need to really be, watching over my shoulder every minute, because the markets are not that dynamic where something is happening all the time. However, in principle, basically, you're going to be watching over my shoulder every minute of the day, every minute of the trading day. And TraderMAX also involves a core strategy. So my original thing was, like I've done all the other strategies, I was going to introduce this new system as a max system itself. It involves this a core trading strategy, and two supporting strategies or techniques, if you can call that. But I decided that this is the ideal strategy to wrap into a TraderMAX mentoring service, because this is the kind of trading I do on my real account on a daily basis. So, you have your long term account and everything, that's fine, that is all different. I'm talking about your day to day trading. And so these are the things that I use. And so I decided to roll in this, instead of making another max product, which would be just a product that you would take and you would study it and you would implement on your own. Rather than do it that way, I decided to roll this into a product come service. As with all the other Option Tiger products, we always focus on the trading edge, because we know that we are up against the market maker. We are at a slight disadvantage, in fact sometimes a very significant disadvantage, and so we have to have an edge on on our trading. The edge by itself may not be enough. We need to have our risk management controls, we need to have our adjustment techniques, all of it in play, all of it in place, so that we are not thinking as to what we are going to do. The whole point is you don't want to be thinking about what you're going to do, you just want to know when to do it. And the when to do it is when number two and number three kick in. And so the only way I feel that people can really learn number two and number three is if you're actually looking over my shoulder and do this for a whole month. Now, you might think, oh, what? But 1 month may not be enough. How can I learn everything in 1 month? But remember, it's not just one. It's not just 1 month. It's not just 4 trading weeks. You're going to be looking at the markets with me and exactly what is going on. We are looking at the same thing. I'm going to be giving constant commentary. Okay. So this is whatever I'm thinking, it's going to be said into this program. It's going to be spoken into this program. Okay. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But basically, our trading theme has to be consistent, repeatable, and it should work for all kinds of markets. So in a nutshell, then, TraderMAX is a product come service rolled into one, and what you're going to be doing over the next one, not over the next 1 month, it starts on June 1st, but it's a watch over your shoulder program. We'll have a webinar format. What you're going to be listening to what you're listening to right now is exactly, and I've looked at various options, whether it should be a real-time chat room or whether it should be, what kind of format should this be delivered in. And ultimately, it's this webinar format is what is going to cut it, because the GoToWebinar software is much more reliable than any of these other things, especially when it comes to live markets and you're changing screens and all of that. So basically, we are looking at a webinar format. We are looking at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Now, obviously, many people may not be able to make it. We'll talk about all that. But basically, and this is it. And we all know that 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Not everything happens all the time at that time. So most of the time, when the markets open at 9:30, you're going to see some action for the first one, maybe 1.5, maybe 2 hours. But by around 11:30 Eastern time, everything that needed to be incorporated into the market from overnight news and events and all of that has already been done. So then you can check the charts of any on any typical day. You'll see that a period of lull starts to come in from about 11:30 or 12 o'clock Eastern time, and it goes till about 1:30, 2 o'clock. Traders also go for lunch, the big traders, and you'll see volumes fall off. And so there's a lull period there. And so, while technically the webinar will be open during that time, we may not really be involved in trading. So we'll talk about all of that also. So let's go take a look at what we are talking about, in terms of trading styles. As I said before, it uses one core, which is probably, it would have been a Max system if not rolled into TraderMAX. And then we're going to use two supporting strategies with that. In my mind, in my experience, what has happened is, building all these systems was good. So if you put a condor, I use the condor max, but the condor is more of a longer term trade. So, how can we include some elements of the condor, of weekly options, or, some other systems, swing trading for sure, day trading for sure? How can we include all of this and create this weekly trading cycle? So generally, we are talking about a weekly trading cycle. So it's somewhere in between day trading and swing trading. So, if you think of day trading, what normally comes to your mind is a trade that generally you open intraday and you close it intraday. Sometimes you may take it overnight, but basically day trading is intraday trading. If you look at swing trading has many meanings, but basically we're looking at longer term trades, slightly more longer term trades, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. So this is something in between, because I found that to make a consistent income from the markets, you cannot be too committed, because markets change, stocks change, and especially with options, it's not like you're holding stock where okay, it goes down by $10 and you're okay with it. No, here we cannot be okay with it, because we're dealing with options, and if a stock goes down $10 and you don't do anything about it, you're going to take a pretty serious hit. So with options, you generally need a somewhat of a smaller time frame. And in my experience rather, I found that if you can churn out trades that last anywhere for a few days, 3 to 5 days, it works out very well, because then you're not married to any kind of long term view on that stock. Yes, you were looking for a move. Uh, 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 Either the move happened very well, in which case you might exit in a couple of days or a day, or if it took some time, you had to adjust it, you had to manage it for a little bit. Okay, fine. But after 4 or 5 days, your original view on what the stock was going to do is probably no longer valid. And so I found that a weekly trading cycle is the ideal time frame if you're looking at creating income from the market. So we're not talking about buy and hold strategies. We're not talking about any of those longer term covered call. You make 1% on your return on your covered call. No, we're not talking about all that kind of stuff. We're talking about taking money from the markets on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. You could do it on a monthly basis, because many people may not have the time to actually do this on a weekly trading cycle. That's fine, because the same principles that are in TraderMAX can be applied to a monthly cycle as well. But I think many traders, especially today, would like a somewhat of a shorter trading cycle, and that's what we are going to do. So we are going to be looking at this from a weekly trading cycle standpoint. Every week we are looking to pull some money out of the market. So how is this going to work? So basically, we're looking at about 5 to 7 trades a week. And overall, within the 4 weeks, we're looking at about 25 to 30 overall trades. I'm going to open a separate account. It's a 50K real money account. So it's not any paper money or anything. You want to get the real money effect here. So this is not this kind of a mentorship requires some real serious approaches. So we are going to put a real money account, and we are going to shoot for about 2.5 to 5% gross. Gross means I'm talking before commissions, gross every week. So on a monthly basis, we are shooting for anywhere between 10% and 20%. On a very good month, we can do 20%, so which means I can do. But that doesn't mean you can do it right away. Okay, so the this is where it comes in. So you need to check how you can improve your skills, because that's what this is all about. Knowledge is only one part of the game, but really how you are going to be able to manage your own situation, how you're going to be able to control your emotions, what are the decision points, when do you think a trade is getting into trouble. So all of that really comes into play. So obviously, if you take 25 to 30 trades in a matter of 4 weeks, we are going to see plenty of opportunities for a trade signal, or whatever it is, to go bad. And so there'll be adjustment tactics, there'll be some opportunities, there'll be emotions involved there. In many cases it might be a panic if the markets are crashing or something, and it's going against us. Some panic moments will be there. But how do we handle it? How am I handling it? How am I sort of teaching you how to handle it? Really, that's what we need to focus on. And so that's the kind of trading environment you're going to see for the next 4 weeks once the program starts. Okay, so let's talk about this webinar format. Obviously, the webinar will start at 9 a.m. and between 9 and 9:30, basically it's pre-market commentary. Okay, so what are the things I'm looking at? What stocks do I think is going to be moving? Because you always want to have and it doesn't have to be a very detailed analysis at all. However, you still want to do a little bit of homework, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that's fine. And so we're going to do that in the pre-market. um, again, once the markets open, as we know, many times what happens in the pre-market is not necessarily what is followed through in the open markets. So, we'll be looking at the open markets. If you have any existing positions, we'll be looking at to see if any of that needs adjustments. And I'm going to be talking just like I'm talking now, so that you're thinking, or rather you're seeing what's in my mind. And I'm not going to be holding back anything in this mentorship, because I do believe that what I've come up with with TraderMAX is the culmination of all of the stuff that I've been doing in with Option Tiger. So I'm going to be speaking my mind on what we see. I'm going to be looking at certain things. Okay, which stocks are we looking at? Obviously it's good to zero in on two or three or four for the day, and not have your mind be distracted by 10 or 20 stocks. So we're going to be zeroing in, looking at the pre-markets now. Okay, and if we have any existing positions, is there anything that we need to do there? If not, then what are the new opportunities we're looking at? What kind of technical analysis tools I'm looking at? And you'll see exactly how I do my trading. And that's really what this is all about. Okay, so that's what the 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 pre-market and the, let's say, the morning session is going to be. Now, very often we'll see that after 1:30 2 p.m. markets will start again. And so what I'm going to do is, instead of having the webinar run all the way from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., say around 11:30, if the markets have sort of stabilized for the day and we're not expecting any big move in either any one of our stocks or the overall markets, then we'll just put the recording on pause, and I'm going to and I'll say, hey, okay guys, let's go for lunch or whatever. We'll see you back in an hour. But the webinar will still be on. So if something suddenly happens, which is very possible, obviously, something comes up and the market starts getting active again, I'll be back on it, and we'll start the recording, and I'll be starting to speak. And so you should leave your speakers on, and if you're going to be close by. And so that's the way it's going to work. And once we start talking and everything, all of that stuff is going to be recorded. And if we make any moves, if we make any adjustments or new trades, whatever, it's all going to be recorded. So that's really how this format is going to work. But overall, I would say an average day's training, or not training, recording, should be about 3 hours. So if you look at 9:30 to 4 p.m., we have 6.5 hours. I'm sorry, 4 plus, yeah, 6.5 hours of market. And out of those 6.5 hours, I would say, if you take off all the lull periods, your daily recording should be about 3 hours. But the 3 hours will cover everything that we did in the 6.5 hours. So we're not going to miss anything. But it's just that there's no need to keep recording a video if there's nothing going on. And we will see, every day you'll see 1 or 2 hours or 2.5 hours that really nothing is happening. And so really, we don't need to be wasting our time. If we have other stuff to do, we can do it. So this kind of a mentorship, I would say, if you have the ability to take at least a week or two off from your work, would be ideal. If you're in a position where you can take 4 weeks off, that's great. Because see, this is you're going to be investing into your trading future. And so I would say, if you can take some time off from your work, because being in a work environment and trying to follow this kind of a format is obviously, it's going to be difficult. So, I would say, if you're serious about it, then I would take a couple of, out of the 4 weeks, at least 1 to 2 weeks off, so that you're following it on a minute by minute basis. If you can take all 4 weeks off, nothing like it. I know that's tough for many people, and I completely understand. I'm just trying to say, if to get the best out of this out of this program, even if you can take 2 weeks off, that's fine, because then what is the format, how are we following. And then perhaps you can catch up with the recording that evening, because the recording will be done by it'll be all rendered and done by about 6 p.m. And so you should have it in your inbox by about 7 p.m. Latest on any given day. But if you can take some time off, that'll be great. Now also, so the format of this, of this mentorship will be a follow only. So this is not a trading idea, a trading alert service. Whatever I do, I'm going to do. If you want to follow me, you follow me on your paper money account. Okay, you want to try this out because you want to make sure that you're understanding everything, you're making, you also feel the same kind of moves that I'm making. But I will not have any time to answer any questions, or besides what I'm speaking into the webinar format. I would, I'll not, I mean, so it's not a trading alert service. So if you've been in any of my trading rooms, hey, Harry, okay, there's a lot of conversations going on, and but I cannot partake in any conversation. If you have questions, you can post your questions just like you're doing now, and when we get time, I'll address them. Okay, so it's not a trading alert service. I don't want you to look at it as a trading alert service. I want you to look at it as a follow service. Look over the shoulder and understand what I'm doing, because you need to have your focus on what's happening on in the market and how we are dealing with that situation, not on how I should make my adjustment. That's not the focus of this of this mentorship. So you're following everything, you're looking over my shoulder, and that is the way to be learning during this 4 weeks. Obviously, like I said, this is probably the culmination of all of my work with Option Tiger. So this is going to be a nothing held back. So everything that I'm thinking on a daily basis, which I do on my real money account, is what you're going to hear from me as we go through with this program. So I'll be speaking my mind on what we see, why I think it's attractive, why I think I'm doing something, why I feel like doing this and not that. All of that stuff will be speaking my mind, and you'll be able to follow through on exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so but I don't recommend you trade on a real money. If you do want to follow, that's perfectly fine. Do it on your paper money account so that you can actually be a part of the real trade environment also. However, like I said, I won't be able to answer questions until we get a break. And so if you have any questions on any particular adjustment that's time sensitive and things like that, I won't be able to do it, but you'll be seeing everything that I do. So perhaps that evening you can catch up on the recording and check it out. But if you have a question, you can type it in, and when a lull period comes, I'll take all those questions. All right, so let's move on. So this is, I feel it's the ultimate options mentoring service. I haven't seen anything like this in the market. I haven't seen anywhere where where you have the ability to look over the shoulder of an expert. To be very honest with you, if something like this was available when I was learning, I would have definitely gone in for it. There are a few people that I've also followed, Dan Sheridan and few others. If they had a program where I could exactly watch what they were doing on their real money account all day, I would have definitely signed up for that, because I think it is the best way you can learn, especially if the person is going to be talking through everything. Then it is absolutely the best way you can learn. How and when to adjust. What are the bad situations? What are the good situations? When to take advantage of situations? When to bring self control into place? If there's some complex situation developing, how do we analyze it? How do we break it down to simpler situations? So in terms of the knowledge required for this, obviously, like I said, this Max product, which I have not even had a name for it, but it basically combines the best elements of your Condor Max, Adjust Max, and Weekly Max, and combines the best elements to produce a fixed income. And the time period is not important, because you can adapt it for a weekly, you can adapt it for a monthly. However, in this case, what we are doing with TraderMAX is adapting it for the weekly trading cycle. You can very well apply the same principles and move it uh, to the monthly cycle as well. So basically, you're going to see everything. We're going to put everything on the table, and exactly how I deal with my positions, that's exactly what you're going to see. All right. So the program itself starts on Monday, June 1st. So June 1st happens to be a Monday, and the program itself will start on Monday, June 1st. It will end on Friday, June 26th. So we're going to see 4 full trading weeks. Monday through Friday, all the way for 4 weeks. We'll have a kickoff webinar on Sunday, May 31st, the day before the program starts. Just like this, we are going to have a webinar, and I'm going to be telling you what. And by that time, if you've signed up, you would have already seen all the courseware and everything for the Max product. So remember, this is also a product, and so the Max product will be just like any other product that, if you've taken on Option Tiger. So you'll have enough time to get go through it. And in fact, that product is going to be ready by Sunday, May 17th. So we are talking about next Sunday. Next Sunday, that product will be ready. All the courseware will be ready. Exactly. What are these strategies that we're doing? What are the adjustment things? What kind of things do we look for? All of that. What are the technical analysis tools that's going to go into it? We're going to be looking at all of that. That courseware is going to be ready by next Sunday. All right. So once we do the kickoff webinar, we'll have a webinar every Sunday until the end of the program. So we'll have one on June 7th, we'll have one on June 14th and 21st. And basically we'll review what happened in the previous week, and we'll also review what what the next week is looking like. So this webinar is, it's sort of, it's a stopping point within the program itself, so that we can take stock of what just happened, and also what we should be prepared for over the next week. So that's what those webinars. So and all of that is part of the program. Um, like I said, the goal is to make about 2.5 to 5% a week, and so we're shooting for 10 to 20% gross ROI in 4 weeks. So if you think of a 50K account, ideally before commissions, if it can get to 60K, that would be an awesome performance. Obviously 20% in a month is awesome, 10% is also awesome, but we're going to be shooting for that. It doesn't mean we might get it. On some months it's you can, and I have done that. So we'll do the best, right? I mean, because you can never say what the market is going to be all about. However, given how markets have been for the last, I don't know, 2-3 years, any downturn has been reversed, and it's going to go into the bullish side. So I think it's safe to assume that we're going to be looking for bullish trades, but the timing and everything is important, and so we'll be looking at all of that. But I would say, on a very good month, I've done 20%, and on most average months, about 10%, and even in a bad month, perhaps 2 to 5%, something like that. So, the point is, how much you're going to make is of course important, but that's not the prime goal. The thing is, if we run into a really bad market environment over these 4 weeks, and we end up break even, I think that's fantastic, because if you really run into a very bad market environment, how you manage to get out of that really bad environment and still not lose money is absolutely phenomenal. So a good example is this earnings season that we just had. As you know, all the big stocks bombed. If you look at Chipotle, if you look at Facebook, even Apple, after coming up with great results, it bombed the price action after the earnings event, except for one or two like Netflix or Amazon. Pretty much everybody else bombed. And so we had this the trading room in for the earnings season. And so out of the 10 or 12 trades we took, only 2 or 3 were big hits. On many trades like Chipotle, Baidu, Facebook, IBM, all these trades, the moment the earnings had happened, the next day we were significantly down on those, because these stocks just didn't. I mean, these are all sure shots, Chipotle and Facebook and all of them, and they bombed. But on each of these trades, we were able to get back to break even. And so when we got back to break even, then we get out of the trade, because that is an excellent outcome given what the outlook was for the trade. And so it's not the absolute return that really is the primary criteria. The whole criteria is, how do we manage it? How do we manage it? And so buckets number 2 and 3 are, if you can manage a really bad environment, then you'll do very well in the good environments, which will, most of the time, 8 or 9 months, you're going to see a decent environment. And when I say decent, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a bullish environment all the time. Sometimes we could be in a bear market. So if you were in the markets around 2007 October, you were in a bear market till 2009, and that's fine. That's fine. Just because you're in a bear market doesn't mean it's a bad market. Your puts would be doing fantastic during that time. What I mean by a bad market is just some up and down. There's lots of crazy stuff going on. Volatility is very high. One day you're going to see 30 points up, next day you're going to see 40 points down on the S&P. That's the kind of bad environment I'm talking about. If it's just going in one direction, that is perfect. Whether it's up or down, it doesn't matter for us. All right. So but the goal is we want to try to make 10 to 20% in those 4 weeks. And so hopefully you'll be part of that, and you can see how we make that kind of money in a live market environment. So the critical thing is, what kind of actions do we take in a live market? That is really the learning experience here. In front of you, what is happening and how do we take advantage of it? If we have to play defense, we'll play defense. But it does, how do you do it? Because if you can manage the bad parts, the good parts will automatically make you money. All right. So over the and I the statement might sound a little weird. Over the next 4 weeks, over those 4 weeks, you learn years of learning, and that might sound a little bombastic when you first hear it. But once you consider that, you're looking at market commentary for 3 to 4 hours minimum a day, perhaps even more, and you're looking at everything that we look at on the screen. There's commentary behind it, there's analysis behind it. Truly, I feel that in 4 weeks you're going to capture a lot of years of what I have learned by trial and error. I think you'll be learning that. But I would say that you have to be prepared with the education from your side. So which means we're looking at the trade structure is going to be simple. However, the management techniques, the sophistication involved in trade adjustments and all of that is pretty is pretty sophisticated, obviously. And so what I would say is that at the very least you would think, or if you already have this, then then it's great. The weekly max, condor max, adjust max, even if you have two out of those, that's fine. But I would highly recommend that you already have. And I know many option tiger customers already are at that level where they have all those products, so it should not be an issue there. But I do want you to be prepared with the education, because we can't be dealing with basic questions once the program starts, because this is where, like I said, the rubber meets the road. You want to transform yourself into an expert options trader that can handle everything that the market throws at us. So that's really what it's all about. So obviously, it's a very intensive program. The TraderMAX itself program, the 4 week program, will cost $19.99, and that will include all the courseware and the recordings for life. It will include all the webinars, Q&A, everything that comes with it. It also includes the new Max system, which doesn't have a name, but if it did, and if it were being sold as a product, that product itself would be of $697 value. So it would be about $700 for that. And if you don't have any of the Condor Max, Adjust Max, Weekly Max, each of those are 697 themselves. If you want it all as a package, then it would be 2999. However, this is the launch time right now. So instead of 1999, what you're going to be looking at is, if you're just going in for the Trader Max, it'll be 1499. And if you're going in for the combo Trader Max with those other three systems, then we are looking at 2499. So it's a very unique mentorship. It's obviously going to be an investment from your side, and therefore I would like you to look at it as that, and I'd like you to see how much how much you can also put into it. And when I say take a week or two off, or take all 4 weeks off, it's not that I'm being silly about it, or or I don't think your work environment is serious or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you have the ability to take some time off and focus on this, because one, it is an investment, as you can see. You're going to be putting up some money here, but that's not the thing. But if this can turn you into, take your options trading skills from where you are to a place where you can be completely confident of taking on the markets, then I think you would agree that it's money well spent. And then for me, this is a complicated service that I'm putting together in terms of doing the trading, having the webinar, all the other stuff as well. So and a lot of work is going to come into this, and so I have to price it. And plus, I would say it includes the Max system, so which is straight away a $700 value right there. And if you pick it up now during this launch special, it will be $14.99. Now, this is not a service I can offer every month. In fact, I don't even know when I'm going to offer this next, because I cannot be doing this. I have other stuff to do. I have my own trading to do. I have another startup I'm working for, as many of you know. So I cannot do this all the time. So I'm doing this in the month of June. Then in July, we are off to South Africa. I'm basically taking the summer off. My kids are involved in some volunteer projects and things like that. So we'll come back, and the next one maybe sometime, I don't know, September, October. I don't even have a date for that. So basically, it's a 4 week. At this point, at least, it looks like a one time. I'm pretty sure I'll do it again, but I just don't know when. It could be in October, it could be November. It all depends also on how my other startup requirements are. Right now, of course, it's just a very new startup, but it's also picking up some speed, and we may have to progress with that. So basically, what I'm saying is, this thing is on for this June. I've been able to allocate the time, and then be able to do this. After that, I don't know when it will be offered. So if you're interested in something like this, you can also avail of the lower price point at $14.99. For the basic TraderMAX, and $24.99 if you want it with the other packages as well. So that's what we have on this. Obviously, I think there's already quite a few questions. And of course, if you think of more questions, you can always email me at info@optiontiger.com. I'm just going to take a quick 1 minute break and get some water, and then we'll look through all the questions. So go ahead and type in all your questions if you have any questions. I already see there's quite a few there. So we'll get to all the questions in just a minute. I'll be right back. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's get into questions. Suresh said, if I didn't attend the webinar last month, I'm just going to put a Y so that everybody can see the question as well. Last month, will I still be? Yes, you will be. The last month webinar was, it was something else. This is the first time I'm introducing TraderMAX. I probably used the same format, or rather the same format of some other webinar, so that's why it said April. Also there was one, but actually there was no April. There was This is the first one, and I do have another webinar next Sunday also on this, but if you've attended today's, then you don't need to attend next week. Okay, Minu says, will the weekly options be on US indices of S&P or Nasdaq, or stock earnings? Minu, it's a great question. I generally tend to trade the indices myself, but that's not what I'm going to do for TraderMAX. We're going to use regular stocks. You're going to see the Facebooks. You're going to see the, Netflix. You're going to see Tesla. You're going to see, just your regular stocks that move. You're not going to see boring stocks that don't move for days together. Yeah, if you look at some of these, what do you call, the big mega cap Pfizer, for example. I mean, it's been between 33 and 34 for 3 months now. So those are not the kinds of stocks we deal with, because we want stocks that move. If stocks move $2 to $3 also in a day, which many stocks move, um, in the options market, that translates into a 40-50% return on your option. So we want stocks that move. Okay, so we'll be doing stocks. I'm not going to be doing any trading of the S&P or Nasdaq, even though that's what I generally do with my own account. But for this program, we're going to be dealing with regular stocks only. Okay. With GoToWebinar on the iPad, I hear everything, but it only shows the initial slide. On my Windows machine, I see the slides. Jack, I don't know what to say. If you're going to be in this program, I wouldn't deal with any of these tablets, to be honest with you. Just sit on your desktop and take this seriously, because you're going to want to see everything that happens on the screen. You're going to want to hear everything properly. Perhaps even follow me on trade on paper money. So this is not a tablet kind of an environment. I would say sit there with a nice big desktop and do this program. After that, of course, if you want to do this on your own with the iPad or anything, that's fine. But for this program, I would say get a nice big screen. All right. What date, David? I think I answered that. June 1st, it starts. The courseware will be ready by next Sunday. So we will, you'll have the ability between the 17th and the 31st to go through everything. I'm going to pull in, as part of the courseware, there's this entire new Max system that's involved. Also, I'm going to pull in stuff that we need in terms of technical analysis tools and everything. So from all the other courses, whatever relevant material we need, then I'm going to pull in all of that and put it into this. Okay, so it's going to be a really nice, very knowledge intensive package. Obviously it has to be, because really I look at TraderMAX being the gold standard in terms of learning how to, not just learning about options, but how to really be successful in the market. So that's what it's all about. All right, what are the strategies used? I think, Lazar, you may have asked that question before we covered those slides. Basically, we are looking at, I mean, the strategies itself are not going to be very complicated, I can tell you that. The only thing is the techniques and the how we approach the whole risk management and trade management is where the sophistication comes in. And so there are there's principles. If I mean I in my opinion, if you've had the weekly max, condor max, and adjust max, then you're well set. Even if you have two out of those three, and I would say adjust max being a necessary one. If you have adjust max and weekly max, okay, that's perfectly fine. Or if you have adjust max and condor max, perfectly fine. But I think adjust max is important. In any trade, the how you approach adjustments is just critical. Whether you are trading long options or whether you're trading some complex strategies, I think so adjust max is a necessity. But out of the other two, if you even have one of them, then that's fine. Okay, would you be summarizing in daily trades in the follow-up emails? No, the follow-up email will just be the recording of that day's activity, because there's there's no summary required. You're going. I mean, this is live. It's almost like your account. Okay, this is where it ended last night. Next morning we pick it up from there. Nothing else. I'm not going to be doing any other trades on this account. So this new 50K account I'm creating only for this program. That's it. So that's but you'll have all the videos. Like I said, videos take after the webinar gets over, videos take a little bit of time to render, and then we after that you should get it by like 7 p.m. latest every day. Yes, Randy, are you running this? Yeah, just this one time in June so far. I'm sure I'll run it again. I just don't know when. It's going to be probably no earlier than September, October, somewhere there, because we are out at the end of June. Actually, on the 28th or 29th, we are out. School, kids have finished school, and we are off to Africa for about 3 4 weeks, and then we are also doing. My son is in, he's a junior, so he's just given SAT. There's some school visits and all of the coming college visits and all of that. So it's a busy summer for us. So I won't be doing this, and then of course I do have the other startup as well. So. Basically, I won't. I don't know when I'll be doing it again. So this June is not only the best time to do it, but also the launch special gets you a reduced price. Okay, Jack says I don't have Condor Max, Adjust Max, and Weekly Max. I have many others. Do I need to get these? And completely, I've gone through them before June 1st, as well as the new Max. The Jack, I know you have swing and day trading, if I'm not mistaken, and a few of the concepts from there will also also going to be very helpful. There are a couple of other technical analysis stuff that I'm going to be including with the with the program. So for you, I would say the Condor Max is not that important. So in fact, what I think I should do now, and I'm just realizing it here, is that I should have a third option here, which is between 14.99 and 24.99 at, say, perhaps 17.49, which will include two of these systems, not three. And I would say that those two are Adjust Max and Weekly Max. The Condor Max, the techniques involved in Condor Max are very sophisticated. So I think in a general sense, if you can get the Condor Max also, you will really benefit from it, because the techniques are very very sophisticated, and you can apply those techniques to any kind of trade. However, if you're just looking at it from what do I need for this particular thing, I would say Adjust Max and Weekly Max are the two things. Don't worry about swing trade and day trade, because there are a few things we are going to pull in from there, but that's going to be part of the system anyway. So you don't need to buy day trade and swing trade. But certainly, I would recommend Adjust Max and Weekly Max at the minimum. And if you're okay with the slightly higher price, then the Condor Max as well. So I'll put out an email tomorrow which has some more details on this stuff. Good question though. And you don't need to be an expert, Jack. If you can go through the two products a couple of times, which you'll have plenty of time to do. If you can go through the products a couple of times, then that's perfectly fine. Gene, good to see you. Any prerequisite? Yeah, okay. So I think Gene may have typed it before I answered that. If you, if you, like I say, if you look at the previous question, basically we are looking at the very minimum, I think, Adjust Max and Weekly Max, and if you can do Condor Max also, then that's fine. You can do Condor Max. All right, Saul. In case things don't go as you say, all right. In case things don't go as you say, because in markets, it's obvious you can lose money if that happened. What will be the worst case scenario? My sense is, my at least the way I look at things is, okay, if all hell is breaking loose on our trades, at least you come out break even. Okay, you come out break even, and just say, hey, this kind of an environment doesn't happen every time. It's a unique case, and so you want to come out at break even. So that is going to be my goal. Absolute worst case scenario is you want to get out break even on your trades and go. But let me tell you, those are the trades that you're really going to learn from. Okay, those are the trades that you're really going to learn from, because when you encounter a very tough market, and how you get out from them is really where all the learning happens. And you can ask any of, I'm going to be sending out an earnings, Max, the month that we just had, and you can ask any of those people there. The toughest trades is when you learn, and you not only learn about what you can do, you also learn what you shouldn't do. And so it's very critical learning there. So that's what we're going to focus on. Okay. All right. Loud says, Yep, quite interesting. Okay, where do I find more info? Yeah, okay. So, in fact, to tell you the truth, I don't even have a page ready, but basically, I'm going to have it ready tomorrow. So, let's go over to my home page here, Option Tiger. What we'll do, I'm going to open a new here under the proprietary trading systems. It'll be on the home page itself. It'll probably come right at the end over here. It's going to be called TraderMAX, and I'll have a page done up tomorrow, and we'll send out the email along with the recording for this webinar. And here you'll be able to go in and take advantage of the launch special and all of that over here. Okay. All right. Apologies if this was covered. Will it help novices who have not traded options at all? You're a little early, Abbas. I would say, just wait for the next round. And 6 months is not too long, even if it happens in September, October. Because I think you need to get you need to have the education. Yeah, I would highly recommend you don't think about it right now at all. Okay, because you need to get some experience. You need to get that base knowledge before you get into this. Mike asks how many contracts. Excellent question. I generally trade 10 contracts unless it is a high price stock like Priceline, in which case I'll trade 4 or 5. If it is a lower price stock like Apple or Google, or Facebook, I'll trade 20 contracts. I always leave room for a double down if required. Then we are going to be looking at converting that to spreads and all of that also. So basically, at no time will we have more than 2 or 3 positions open, even if you have 50K and say an option costs $5. So for 10 contracts, that's 5,000. So that'll be one trade, and we need to leave some buffer area for that, maybe another 5,000, maybe some more for some adjustments, spreads and all of that. So basically, but I don't add more than one double. Okay, so if at all we do double, it's only one time. And so basically we're going to be dealing in anywhere between 5 to 20 contracts. Most of the time it will be 10 contracts, and if you're dealing with Facebook and Apple, it may be 10 to 15 to start with the ability to go to 20, 25, 30, that way. Okay. Could you explain the difference between the two programs, Lal? I didn't understand what that was. Thanks for all the info. Which two programs are you referring to? I think, are you talking about Weekly Max and what do you call the Adjust Max? They are different products. Let me show you, and you'll have an idea. So when you come to Option Tiger site, just click on Adjust Max. You'll see a page here, and it'll tell you what is this. So here, Adjust Max, we are dealing with adjustments. Whether you're dealing with single options, credit spreads, debit spreads, iron condors, calendars, whatever the case might be, we are dealing with how to deal with adjustments. So this product rather, explains the philosophies of adjustments, how do we need to approach adjustment, and then there'll be 4 or 5 live trades as part of the product itself, and we track the trades over a period of 3 weeks. But it's recorded. It's not live in the sense. What we are talking about today is live, because yes, you learn from recorded stuff also, but nothing like live, right? I mean, when you're looking over the shoulder of someone doing things in the live market and exactly laying out what is going on in his mind, there's really no better way to learn than that. That's exactly what you need. And if it's a panic situation, it's a panic situation. How do we deal with it? Okay, so that's what we're talking about. So similarly, just like Adjust Max, there is also Weekly Max. Weekly Max basically takes advantage of weekly options. Okay, so weekly options have a lot of pluses, a lot of minuses, but what we want to do is take advantage of weekly options in a smart way. And so this product actually covers weekly options in a very detailed manner. And we in today's time, you have to be um, you have to be involved in weekly options. You just cannot avoid it, actually, to be honest, because now you have weeklies in the front week, in the next week, in the third week, and all of that. So you really need to be an expert on weekly options, because there's a lot you can take advantage of. Well, Manjit says, will the Max system allow me to pick stocks? No, it's not a stock picking thing. It is, once you know what you're trading, how do you make the best out of that trade? Okay, so this is not a stock picking program. We will pick stocks, because even I look at a basket of about 25 to 30 stocks, and on any given day or any given week, we'll trade maybe two or three of those. That's it. So what is the analysis that goes into how we decide which two or three we are going to trade for this week? That you learn from me. Okay, we're going to look at technicals, we're going to look at some company background if required, we're going to look at a slightly more longer term picture, 3 month picture, and we're going to look at, well, what is the shorter term picture. So all of that analysis is going to go in, and you're going to learn that. But 4 months down the road, if you want to pick a stock, obviously this program is not, that's not the focus of this program. All right. John says, I'm too early. I'm sorry. Yeah, I love to participate, but too early in the curve. I haven't taken any and don't believe I have a solid foundation. I hope you'll give more notice next. I'm sorry, guys. I agree with you. I have to choose my vacation a year in advance. Yeah. So, like I said, this is not the only time I'm going to do it. I just don't know when it's going to be done next, but it's probably going to be, if I were to if I were to pick a month, I'd probably say September, October, and perhaps once after that, over the around the new year as well. So there will be more for sure. And if you're not ready, then you're not ready. And that's perfectly fine. You shouldn't try to squeeze yourself if you're a complete beginner. I think one other beginner had posed the same question. So you shouldn't squeeze yourself. But if you've had even 2 or 3 months of options trading experience, then you're good. But if you don't even have that, then I wouldn't recommend. Okay, Randy says, will the recorded videos be able to be replayed in a faster rate, 1.5x, for efficient replay? Will the videos be downloadable? No, it won't be downloadable for sure, Randy. That causes too many issues in terms of intellectual property. But I don't know about 1.5 speed. I'll have to look at whether the e-learning system that we use, whether that has the ability to play 1.5. But I wouldn't do that. I mean, you're really shortchanging yourself if you try to speed it up. Ideally, if you're there in the markets for some part of the day, then obviously you don't need to go through that again that evening, and you can go through just what you missed. But I wouldn't try to speed it up, Randy, to be honest. It's a real this is something that I think you're taking taking it seriously. So so I would say, just take your time with it. If I really want to start with the live account, how much money should I have? Do I have to match with your 50? If you want to start, you mean follow me with the real account? I don't know if that's what. Yeah, if you have a 50K, you can do that. I strongly once again would say, just for this month, just do it on paper money. Okay. By the way, I do need to tell you this. If you go in for the program now, and when I do the program again next time, whenever that is, September, at that time you can be part of that program for a small fee. So I don't know what that is, whatever makes sense, 299, 349, somewhere in that range, low hundreds. You can be part of this program for that price, that's for sure. So if you want to go have another run at it and be part of this, again, in the future, you can take it any number of times by paying a much smaller fee. So that option will always be there for you. So I would say this month, my recommendation at least is paper money. If you wanted to do it with real money, I would say 50K, just because 25K you're going to run into the pattern day trader rules, and we don't want to be impacted. Our trading should not be impacted by pattern day trading rules. So that's not something that we want to get into. So I would say 50K, Mike. Okay. All right. So very interested, Jonathan. Good to see you. Could you repeat about the price? Yeah. Okay. Sure, Jonathan. I think you have quite a few of my products. Um, I believe. Yeah. So basically, the list price of this is going to be in the future is going to be 19.99 and 29.99. However, because we are launching, I'm giving a launch special, and that will be 14.99, which will be just for the TraderMAX. I'm sorry, what did I do there? Okay. Okay, and 24.99 is a package of Condor Max, Adjust Max, and Weekly Max. And just from this webinar, I've realized that I need a little bit more flexibility with the packages. So I'm going to give a couple of different prices. So Trader Max with one of these three, Trader Max with two of these three, and Trader Max with all three of the three. So I'll give out. So just check your email over the next day or two. You'll start getting emails on this. I'll have the page ready, so you'll have more information. You can watch the webinar replay over there, and I think we'll open it up for sale sometime in the next 3 days or so. So just look at, yeah, Randy, I hear you. What if I don't have Adjust Max and I have the others? Exactly. All right. So I'm going to make this a little bit more flexible, so it can accommodate all of these, all of the stuff. Jack says, what about having master iron condors? That's fine, but I can tell you the Condor Max includes sophisticated techniques that are not included in any other product. If you ask me what is my favorite elite intellectual property, I would say that's Condor Max. So you're not going to see that anywhere else. All right, Lily says, thank you. Thank you. Very good. You're welcome. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email at info@optiontiger.com. Also, will weekly options and study of weekly options expire? Well, again, it's you can look at it as 101. You can look at it as 101, and you can look at it as 301 or 401, whatever you want to call it. So one is sort of all the courses on Option Tiger, the 47 course courseware, they are, they introduce you to whatever that course is all about. Although I would say it's a pretty advanced, well substantiated, sort of introduction. However, it's still an introduction, and if you want to really what to say specialize and create some very creative approaches and everything, those are not the courses. Those are basically, it'll give you a very solid introduction to whatever concept is being discussed. Is it possible to pay in months? Saul, you can pay in months, but obviously you'll be able to join the course once the payment is over. So if you want to be ready by the next time, which is September, October, that's fine. You can start a monthly thing with me, and you can just email me. I'll send you some details on that, how that might work. Will there be any video sample for a beginner? Once again, Tom, are you a begin? Okay, let's see. Will there be any video sample for a total beginner to be able to see how the basic concepts are applied at real-time speed? Basically, will the children be able to peek over your shoulder? No, 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 no. Yes, you will see some videos where we are going to show what, how the room is going and everything, but you really won't be able to peek over the show. I mean, I think, Tom, just like, I think there are a couple of other questions also very similar. I would say if you're thinking about this, you think about it on the next round, and meanwhile, over the next 3 to 4 months, which is which is a lot of time, you can sort of prepare yourself with the education required. If you want to email me, I can give you a precise roadmap on what to take. Okay, Lal says thanks. Thank you. All right, Tom, I just answered that. Need to get some basic knowledge. Where to start? Here, let me show you that. Here, this is where you start. If you come to the Option Tiger homepage, the first thing that you'll see is options, courseware, and education. we have I have the options beginner module, intermediate, advanced. Each of these modules have 13, 14 courses in them. So what you'll find in this course, yeah, these are all the individual courses: introduction to call options, introduction to put options. So you're looking at the beginners bundle right now: introduction to time decay, implied volatility, option Greeks, why options are powerful, market structure, how do you actually buy call options in the real market, how do you sell, how and why do you sell, same thing, all of the single option adjustments, probability, and the option Greeks. So this is basically your options beginners bundle. um, if you're on Udemy, you can also see, you can also get some deals from Udemy on this. I have my Udemy page, which is actually I'm now I'm I think I'm one of the top finance and trading things over there. So let me show you all the. So I have about I have about 9,800 and I mean, almost 10,000 students now on Udemy. Okay, so you'll see some of these courses here also, and you will also see um, you might also get some coupons from Udemy also. But if not, if you want to get going right away, then I would say just come over to Option Tiger. You do an options beginner or options, and then if you go into options intermediate, we talk about option spreads, all the four: bull call spread, bear call spread, and all of that. Introduce all of that over there. And then finally we have the advanced module as well. And if you look at the advanced module, all of these, they have 13, 14 courses. Each course is between 1 and 1.5 hours long, really detailed. It's just awesome, and you can see the reviews and everything that come. It's all here, so you can go through all of that. um, it's great stuff. I also have a complete bundle which has all 47 courses. So instead of paying $400 per beginner and this and that, here you'll get all 47 courses plus a technical analysis and volume analysis bundle, also a macro and finance bundle. All of that together is 12.99. If you're interested, you email me, and I can give you some discounts. If you're thinking of buying more than one or two products, then I can give you a bundle product price. Okay, so just email me on that: info@optiontiger.com. Okay, Jason says, Harry, don't you think, one second, let me type in a Y, makes sense to offer a package product, Condor Max Adjust, in the months in between? Yeah, sure, I can do that. Meaning other people might be interested to take those courses in preparation. Excellent, excellent point. I'll definitely do that. Thank you for those. Don Clements, what time Eastern time are these lectures going to occur on Sunday? Same like this, Don. I think you're good in Hawaii, right? Right now, it's what, like 4 p.m. or something. I don't know what, 3 p.m., 3 in the afternoon, something like that. So I think you should be good for this time. So it'll be this time, 8 p.m. Eastern time is when we'll have the webinars. All right. What is the Max system you're referring to? Yeah, exactly. So that is the new system which I have not, built it yet. I was going to build it based on this proprietary, my what I call my day-to-day bread and butter kind of trade. I was going to make a product out of that. I would have called it some Max, but instead of making it as a standalone product and just try to sell that to, just like I've done with all the other products, because it's my day-to-day staple trade, I and looking at the fact that so many customers have asked for, this mentorship. And finally, just as I thought about creating this product, the whole thing about the mentorship also came to me. And so the idea was to wrap both of those into this mentorship product itself. So that product has not been named yet. That's why it's just called the Max system. Neer says, any chance to have similar? Hi, Neer. Oh my goodness. Similar service for Condor. Any chance to have similar? Oh, any chance to have similar service for Condor Max? Neer, if my issue is time now, how much can I, it's not something I can delegate. It's not something I can outsource. I have to do it myself. So I know Condor Max would be good. See, the problem with Condor Max also, because everybody takes action at different times, that causes a problem. So I found that for trade alert services. Oh, you mean okay? Oh, I see what you mean. You're saying okay, look over your shoulder for Condor Max. I see. Okay, that's a great idea. Let me think about it. But see, the problem is if you look over the shoulder, that's that becomes of a monster of a project. So we'll see how to do that. But I understood your question now. How long will we have courseware? It's lifetime, Balbir. Anytime you buy anything from Option Tiger, it's all lifetime. Okay, so you have complete access to everything. TraderMAX recording, same website. Yeah, exactly, same website, Randy. Option Tiger, once you log in, you'll see it just like any of the other courses. William says, I'm complete novice and will also be in Ireland. So for most of June, will there be an early bird price special available for subsequent course presentations? Well, this one is a launch special, so obviously it's a special. Not sure if I can do one thing for you. If you really cannot attend June, but if you want to purchase it now but save your spot for September, I can give you this launch special price, William. Okay, just email me and I'll give you some details on that. Okay, Hari, you've come a long way, including clunky website. Yeah, I know. So, is there any way is there any upselling once I've made the purchase? No, actually, frankly, to tell you the truth, when you what you have is I'm sorry. Yeah, and I stick with that. I mean, there's no up. I mean, this is not any upsell to any product. I mean, this is elite intellectual property, Randy. I mean, you cannot compare this to options education. What you said was advanced courses. Yes, and there's no upsell to the courses. These are not upsell to the courses. The courses is education. These are proprietary systems. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, this is, taking it, think of it as a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. I mean, this is what it is. That's the difference between the two. Yeah, including the clunky website. I remember that part. Okay, all right. That was a great webinar with all great questions, I would say, and I don't think there is any more questions. So if you think of any questions anytime, just email me at info@optiontiger.com. And for this particular product, we have time because it's not starting until June 1st. The product will be up for sale over the next 2 to 3 or 4 days, and you'll have the launch special is on until the end of the month. But I would urge you to not wait till the end of the month because you have some stuff that you need to go through before June 1st. So, depending on whether it is Adjust Max or Weekly Max or even the the Trader Max course itself, you'll need to give yourself time. So anyway, I'll be sending out an email when the sales page is up, and you guys can take advantage of that. And also by next Sunday, all the courseware will be up. But if you want to get started with the Adjust Max and Condor Max and everything, up front, just send me an email. I'll try to get the sales page in as quickly as I can, perhaps tomorrow. But if not, certainly by Tuesday, I'll try to get it all up so we can get started. Okay, outlook for this week, Gene. Great question. I would say bullish, just because Friday was just a massive day. And till Friday it was questionable. I thought we would probably go another leg down, but Friday, for whatever reason, the jobs number didn't beat any expectations or anything. I think people were just happy to know that at least it looks like we're back on track, because if you recall, March jobs number was terrible. It came very bad. So we didn't know if that was going to be a seasonal one-off thing because of the bad winter in the on the East Coast, or if that was a permanent condition. So I think people were just happy to realize that it was not a permanent condition, and it just went up. But tomorrow it might go down a little, because Friday went up so much, but otherwise bullish. But remember, this is May, so in general, if you look at it as an annual cycle, May and June are probably some of the weaker months that we'll have. So May and June, you always need to be a little careful. But otherwise, I would say if we are still in a very bullish market, there's nothing, at least in the horizon, that we know of that can derail this bull market yet. Yes, that time will come, and we will, for all this money printing and all this debauchery, we are going to pay a price at some point, but we are not yet there yet. So I would say bullish still. Okay, all right, Jason, thank you for your time. Thanks for coming. And I think that's about it. That's all the questions. So just look out for some emails from me, and I'll speak to everyone very soon. Have a great night, everybody. I'll speak to you. Bye bye.